Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we're being joined by Dr. Eve Hudson, author of 1865. Eve, welcome to the show.
Hi, Paul. Thank you so much for having me. Really excited to be here with you and everyone who's tuned in today.
Are you ready to get started?
I am.
All right. Question number one. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
I definitely say for you to be patient with yourself. And by patient, writing a book is an extremely complex process. I say it is because a lot comes out just when you think you're done. You want to write again, you want to write more. And the edits, the back and forth between yourself and your editor, what the cover looks like, there's so much that goes into it that sometimes we don't really put a lot of emphasis on, but really to just be patient with yourself through the process and know that the finished product is worth the time that you invest.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
I think for me, it was deciding if I wanted to do self-publication or if I wanted to go through a company and an actual publisher. So I ended up doing self-publications when I did a thought process of what will work best for me, where I am in my life right now. And because either way, it's money that's involved. And so determining how much money you want to invest in what your project is and what would be the best route for getting started. Because everybody tells you to go large or, don't do it at all. But sometimes it's just not realistic. So making that decision was the hardest thing for me.
Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well.
Email. All the email. Definitely before I launched my book, I started to grow an email list of individuals who were interested in my platform. So as I got closer to being able to put the book out, I started to drop teasers about the book. I got a few people who were in my audience to engage in the initial process of learning about it so they can start telling their peers. And then I actually released the book in email first and allowed people to pre-order. By pre-ordering the book, I think that it really helped people feel that they were part of this exclusive thing that I had going on, which is exciting for me as well. And to be able to share the feedback about who's ordered and where the orders are coming in from drew some excitement for others. So I would definitely say if you're looking to look at any strategy, begin to build your email list and begin to start sharing bits and pieces of your content to get people excited.
So it sounds like you're talking about making your readers feel like VIPs.
Absolutely.
And then you mentioned you had a couple different strategies for that, making it feel exclusive. What were some of the other strategies that you utilized?
One is definitely word of mouth. So the other is word of mouth. So being able to reach out to people in my community. So going back to those that I went to high school with, those who I talked to through college, those who were part of my sorority, saying, hey, you guys, I'm releasing a book and I want you all to know about it. And while you're in your particular field, so I've reached out to a lot of educators, being that my particular area of expertise and professional involvement is higher education. And so I reached out to my network of people and let them know my book was coming out. And as I let them know, I put them on the list too. And so by gauging an interest with my community and spreading the word, people continue to share with others. So I found that to be really exciting for me as well, and would definitely use that strategy again.
And then your book is called 1865. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I went to a historically Black college and university, Shaw University, that's in Raleigh, North Carolina, and it was established in 1865. And a part of that is because, a part of the book is being that I experienced so much during that time of my life. I'm a first generation college graduate. Never imagined I'd be where I am today. Never thought doctor would even be possible. But that experience for me is what really, really changed the trajectory of all that I'd become. And so when I thought about writing my book and who I was writing it for, I thought to write it for the young lady who needed to hear what I have to say now from the lessons that I learned. But also 1865, paying homage to the freeing of slaves and Black people to even be able to have an education opportunity to learn and to grow. When I looked at the two together, it just made sense because it's a story of freedom and overcoming and surviving adversity and for pressing forward. So the only way I could think to do that was to just give it a simple title with so much power behind it.
Well, let's talk about your favorite book. So, what is your favorite book, and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
Hands down, The Alchemist. It is my absolute favorite book in the world. And the thing that I learned from it is that all that we need in this world is within us. And we just have to ask the universe for it and believe that it'll come back to us. Understanding that on a spiritual level has really helped me think more largely about my life and what can come of it and how I want to live and live well.
And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
Okay, so one of my friends is Ralph Waldo Emerson, and there's a particular piece that he writes, but at the end of it, he says to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. And all I want to do in my life is to help other people live better. For me, that is the ultimate sign of success, that somebody can say, I can go on because of you, I can press forward because of you, that I can believe in something greater because you've lived.
I love that.
Thank you.
Well, Eve, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Oh, awesome. So I am definitely in the social media space, LinkedIn and Instagram. That'll be great. You can find me at EVEHUDSONPHD on Instagram and on LinkedIn. I am Eve Hudson, PhD. And feel free to visit my website, which is www.thepurposeprofessor.com.
Well, Eve, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author
Thank,
journey ahead.
thank you so much, Paul. Good luck to you and everything ahead.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com.